welcome back to my channel. This is TitliBee. I hope you all are doing fine. Today I am back here with another book video, and today I am going to review The Tattooist of Auschwitz by Heather Morris. This is a story based in 1942 Auschwitz-Birkenau of Lil Sokolov, a Jew boy who was held captive by the Nazis inside the camp. Lil Sokolov becomes the tattooist of the camp. Even though he was held captive over there, he got the job to paint, or rather scratch, the tattoo on the hands of the fellow victims. Now this tattoo is one of the prominent mark of the brutality that happened in the past, that is the Holocaust. Each and every victim that was brought inside the camp were identified by these marks or these tattoos. Lil was one of the tattooists who worked over there after 1942, as he was held during the time of 1942. During his time in this camp, Lil was surviving as he can. He would sometimes just trade foods, he would sometimes trade goods just to get a little bit of more ration and then share it with his fellow victims. During all this time and all these hard times, Lil met the love of his life, Geeta. When he met Geeta, he was sure for so much and he fell in love so deeply. He knew that after this, he would go out of this camp, he would have a better and beautiful life with Geeta outside these horrible Holocaust camps. Geeta and Lil both were so in love even inside the camps, and everyone knew about it, even the officers over there, and somehow they managed to survive during those times. Now Geeta and Lil's love story, when I was reading, I came to know that this is a real story which really drawn me more into it. Now this was the gist. I wouldn't tell you more about if they actually had a good ending, if they actually end up together. I would say you have to read this book to know if they have survived the horrible Holocaust and ever fulfill their love. Now coming to the main point of the story, if I liked it or not. The writing style is so good that you can read this book without even stopping throughout there. Like, it would grab you so well that the story and the writing style is easy. The story is smooth flowing and fast paced, and so yeah, this is a very fast read. I read it in like 2 days, 2 days, and that too in working days. So it doesn't take much time for you to finish. Secondly, coming to the story or the plot. Now you have to remember this is a real story, and I would say each and every moment was keeping me on the edge, and I was so worried for both Geeta and Lil, so well as Silka and other characters in the book. And whenever I think that they are the real people who has gone through everything that has been written here, and it was more and more unsettling, but it was also giving me hope. Like, the optimism of Lil just, I think, rub off into me. Lil is a very great character, and how he survived, okay, spoiler, how he survived through this Holocaust and how he persuaded the time being into it was very motivating and very appreciable. Throughout the time I was so scared that what happens if either of the characters dies, or even the side characters if they die. So it was beautiful. And then coming to the ending. The ending was something I was so happy that this book ended like this, because I am somebody who loves to read books on World War II. Yes, I'm not lying. This is that era, or this is the time that really attracts me. So I have read quite a lot of book on this matter, and I read on the Holocaust articles or anything that comes out, and it always left me in tears. Even when I read the Boy in Striped Pajama, if you have read that book, you know how much heartbreaking that is. I will put the book review link in the description below, so you can go ahead and check that. Now when I ended this book, when I finished the story, I was glad this happened this way. Like, this is the only book I think I have ever read on Holocaust, in the World War II time, which left me with happy tears instead of sad tears. So this was the bonus of this book. This is a great story. This is a story of a time which really attracts me so much, and also it has a good ending. So this was like a very fresh reading for me. Now coming to Lel and Geeta. Now to think of, even during that time, they both were so madly in love, give me hope. So you see these two people who are brought into this camp where they don't even know if they will survive another day, if they will ever be able to see the daylight outside this camp and ever will have a life. They both loved unconditionally, especially Lel, I would say. Now speaking of Lel, he was a protagonist, so we got to see much more side of him rather than Geeta. Seriously, the character of Lel is somebody you feel motivated even just talking about them or even just reading about them. And to think of that they actual people, like this is not a fictional story where they are giving you the hope of optimism or something. This is a real story. How these two people have fought for their love, have went through the worst a human can imagine, and then they survived and had a life together. And this was so beautiful. Like, this was one of the touching love story, I would even say, because the both of them, Lel and Geeta, were amazing. Forgetting the name, sorry, the friends of Geeta, but there are other people who really helped them, and the story was beautiful. Now coming to Lil. Lil was a very smart character, I would say, because how he schemed through all the time he was living there. He was a very honest man. First of all, he helped as much as he can to the people inside the camp. He just made friends everywhere. He was such a nice person. I think that is one of the main reason how he survived. Especially if you read this book, you will come to know what I'm talking about in the very first few chapters, like how much he influenced other people, and his influence on other people was one of the reason he was still surviving. His helpfulness, his ingenuity, and his, what should I say? Should I say innocence or his helpfulness? I don't know. Everything is a great character. Like, it's too good to be true sometimes that a man survived with so much difficulties. Like, there was 2 or 3 times he came this close of time. To think how much of pain they have went through, to think how much horror was at that time in the concentration camps. Even there was a time when Len was told that you are only Jew who went inside the gas chambers and came out alive. And to think how many people, how many children, how many women, how many men were taken inside just because what they were born into was really heartbreaking. Like, I cannot believe that this has once happened, and how much pain it was. Like, one of the character, one of the person I really felt so sad about and I have read that book, I don't know, more than once or twice, and that is the Diary of Anne Frank, the diary of a young girl. So while reading this, I was so concerned that even though there are real interviews and pictures of Lel and Geeta given backside of the book, I was constantly in fear. What if they don't survive? Like, this is the thing, like, it is a miracle that they both survived and they met some time after and had a life together. Even after coming out of the camps and having a good life together, they both stood for what is right, and they were they were covert activists even after that time, and they were almost caught, so they had to flee from their place and live on a new life. So this story was amazing and heart-touching, and it was hard to believe that these two people were held captive inside the camps, and they both escaped, and they both came together after they were escaping. Even though both escaped on 2 different times, they both met after the camps and they had a life together. This is what makes me believe in love. This is what it should be. Like the universe conspired them to bring together. This is what the true power of love. Even during the hardship, they had both of them together. They had each other, and even when they escaped, they could have got separated, they could have forgotten each other, but they found each other and they had a life together, and they fought even till the end of their life for what is right. After Gita's death, Lel talked to the author, who is Heather Morris, and it took them 3 years to write this book, and such a good book, and I would suggest you all to read this. This is not only just a story, I would say this is one of the very inspiring story where I think if you want something truly that really comes to life, like the optimism of Lil is what made them come out of the camp, to escape the camp and even have a life together, even in the darkest hour. So yeah, that's my review for the book The Tattooist of the Auschwitz. I hope you liked it, and I hope you read this book. This is such an amazing book, and the story is so amazing that I think I need to use more adjectives. Yeah, so go and read it. Let me know how you feel about this book. And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Go and check my other videos. All the links are given in the description. Go and follow me there. I keep update with my current reading as well as my book reviews on both my blog and Instagram. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Till then, bye bye.